What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back here for episode 2 of the Twitter Unpopular Opinions. Had John with me yesterday. I've got my brother Sim with me. You ready to get stuck into these?
I'm ready. Come on, chuck them at me. Show me what you got. I want to know. I want to know these opinions, man.
Big shout out to all of you on Twitter, because you literally sent us so many to deal with. We have to pick them up. We're probably going to make about 4 or 5 videos with these, but let's get stuck into it, and let's go to the first one, which is Rob Leonard, and he says, I preferred watching Spurs back in the Harry Redknapp era as opposed to the Poches. Preferred the players we had then compared to the past few seasons. There, I said it.
The disrespect on the Pochettino era is unparalleled. Come on, you can't prefer Harry Redknapp's team to the Pochettino team. I mean, the Pochettino team was challenging for titles. It was playing elite football in the Champions League as well. And I guess you could argue we under Harry Redknapp as well, we had a good Champions League run. But I think you can't compare the quality of the two teams, man. You just can't. I think the Harry Redknapp team was just a bit of a gung-ho. It was fun to watch, but I think this Pochettino team, the football it played was second to none. And to have, you can't. I don't think you can compare the players we had. I think some of the players.
I mean, Harry Redknapp's tactic was, go out there, just go and play your football,
run around a bit.
Give it to Gareth Bale, give it to Aaron Lennon down the wings, and ping Crouchy in the middle. You know what I mean? That was his. That was his team talk every week.
Exactly. And they were on fire when Bale and Lennon running down those wings. It was hard to stop, but I think they were a bit more unpredictable than the current Spurs team under Pochettino, who were just a machine at times with their intensity and the way they went about football matches. And it was just so good to watch that high press, especially like home games against Arsenal when we just pressed them into submission. No one could deal with it. And I think, for sure, I enjoyed watching Pochettino's team more than Redknapp's.
Yeah, me as well. But at the end of the day, it's a personal thing. And Rob personally thinks he enjoyed the Redknapp era more than the Pochettino. So good for him.
He's personally wrong, yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. It's from Liamo240. And he says, Hugo Lloris is the best shot stopper in the Premier League.
I don't think that's unpopular. I think that's absolutely spot on. I think as a shot stopper...
it might be unpopular down Woolwich.
Yeah,
it might be unpopular at Man City or Liverpool.
But he's the best shot stopper in the league. You can't deny that. In terms of actually saving shots statistically as well, he's the best in the league. He has the highest expected goals saved. I think he saved 10 goals, which is more than any other keeper, which is amazing as well because he missed half the season. And he's got the best save percentage rate, 80% save percentage rate, which is incredible.
Yeah, Statman Sim pulling through the stats yet again.
Come on, Hugo Lloris deserves respect. Put respect on the guy's name. I think since Mourinho's come in, I think there's an argument to say he's been the best goalkeeper in the league.
New lease of life.
I completely agree. I think there's an argument he's top 3 keepers in the league. I think there needs to be more respect on Hugo's name. He's absolutely an outstanding keeper.
I agree with you. I think he's in the top 3. I think under Alisson and Ederson, Arsenal fans would like to think Leno's better than Lloris, but they're absolutely on crack. But look, I think he is the best shot stopper in the league, definitely. Maybe not the best goalkeeper in the league, but definitely the best shot stopper in the league. And like we said before, new lease of life under Jose Mourinho. And when he got injured at Brighton, everyone was calling him to sell him. Never mind to put him on the bench. They wanted him gone.
And people saying Gazzaniga to replace him.
Yeah, but there's clear night and day between Gazzaniga and Lloris.
I think we always backed Hugo. Yeah, we always knew. So. I think we always know how good Hugo is. He's been absolutely sensational recently, for sure. And I think ever since he's come into Spurs, he's been pretty consistently good.
Look, he's prone to a high profile error every now and again. But at the end of the day, who isn't prone to an error? Look at bloody David De Gea right now.
And even Ederson, he made a couple of massive errors in the Manchester derby, didn't he? To give United the win. So every keeper has errors. But this guy, from a shot-stopping standpoint, there's no one better. His reflexes are unparalleled.
All right, let's move on to Archon Chris, whichever one you want to call it. It's Sessegnon is a flop, and he is just a product of the English media propaganda always hyping up young British talents.
I think at the moment it's hard to argue against the statement that he's a flop, because at the moment he hasn't played well whenever he's been given the opportunity. He needs to really get more confidence when he's on the ball, and hopefully if he goes out on loan that can give him that. But I don't know if it's a British media hyping him up, because he was class when he was a teenager at Fulham.
That's what I'm saying. In the Championship, was he actually overhyped? Because he scored so many goals at such a young age from left back.
He was 16, 17 when he was banging in goals for Fulham. So you can't help but say this guy's going to be the next big thing when you're doing bits at such a young age. So I think it's harsh to say he's another product of the English media hyping up young talent as well. He's still so young. He's 19 still. He's so much time on his side. This guy has all the ability to do it all. Just give it time. And I think, it hasn't gone well for him, but...
Do you think he should go on loan this season?
I think, if he's not going to be back up, if we're going to have Sirkin, or however you say his name is, if he's going to be back up left back to Davis, then I can't see him getting many minutes on the left wing. So I wouldn't mind him going out on loan.
I mean, the only reason I don't want to say he's a flop is because he's so young. Mm-hmm. That is the only reason why I wouldn't call him a flop. I mean, when you look at his time at Fulham, his bread and butter was hugging the touchline and beating his man. He hasn't done that at all at Tottenham, and every time he looks like complete lack of confidence to take on his man. But look, like we said, he's young and he's got time in his hands, so we want to back him.
100%. I think he's got more than enough time on his hands. One season, he signed at 18. Just calm down a bit.
Yes.
Calm down.
All right. Hans Emil SS says, our centre-backs are actually good and would be amazing at a club like Liverpool. They haven't had any protection around them.
I've been saying that all season.
I've been saying that since 1 year, since Dembele left.
Yeah, pretty much. I think the fact that we haven't had a defensive midfielder is a massive, massive reason why we've struggled so much defensively and why we've been left exposed. It always seems like whenever the opposition get the ball, it's so easy to bypass our midfield and go and get in on the defence all the time. And it's not. I don't think it's not only the midfield; it's also the fullbacks as well, which
Correct.
have left us exposed. So I think I agree. I think our centre backs are good. You go Toby, Sanchez, Dyer, and Tanganga, obviously Vertonghen's left. I do think they are four good centre-backs, and in a different system where they're protected, there will be different prospects. But I think
Pierre-Emile Højbjerg.
Exactly, Højbjerg is going to change everything. I'm really
and Zeki
Celik. And Celik as well. Just some protection for these centre-backs. Because, look, Toby didn't turn into a bad defender overnight. No. But having said that, I do think sometimes defenders, when you're being left exposed, can be better in one-on-one situations, and these defenders have maybe proven that in one-on-one situations they're not the best. But I think you've got to play in the system that fits your players, and I think in a defensive system under Jose, these centre-backs can definitely shine, especially Toby. I'm certain of that.
I mean, this is something I said to you maybe 3 weeks ago. I said to you, do we even need another centre-back? I said that to you, and I think, the point stands. I think we do need a centre-back, but I don't think it's the pressing issue like the CDM, like the right back, like the potential left back. So
it's not a priority. It's not a priority as much as
like
them for sure.
Striker.
I think now that Dyer's come on a bit, I think it's now not a priority. I think we would like someone like Skriniar would be perfect, but it's now not a priority.
I think if you're going to bring one up, he has to be a very, very good player.
Agreed.
All right, let's move on to James 23436414, and he says Harry Winks does not get the credit he deserves. He keeps the midfield ticking and also plays a crucial role in Jose ball.
Completely agreed. People love to hate on Harry Winks because he's not this all-action centre mid who gets goals and assists, or he's not
a glamorous player.
Yeah, he is kind of. He's not the best going forward. And he's not the best defensively. He's kind of like the Ben Davis of centre mids. And I don't know if I had to say a compliment or a diss, but he kind of always puts in a 7 out of 10 performance, and I think a lot of his good work goes unnoticed. He does make a lot of good forward passes, and he is good when you're in control of a match, keeping possession and keeping things ticking, and he does work very hard for the team. I would want to see him improve in a lot of aspects, especially him passing forward quicker, but I do agree a lot of his work goes unnoticed.
I think since Jose's come in, I think he's come on leaps and bounds this season. I don't think he had a particularly good first half of the season, and I think his second half of the season has more or less, maybe not made up for it, but it's definitely much improved. And I think this kind of deeper role that Jose has him in has really improved his game. You can see those performances in the midfield where he kind of anchors the midfield and really wins the ball back so many times and recycles the ball. And not only that, but he's adding some great balls over the top to his game and a bit of forward passing and forward thinking to his game as well. So I think Harry Winks has been one of our better players since the restart for sure.
Anyway, yeah, I agree with that, Colin. He does not get the credit he deserves, because I think people like to call him out and say he's average and not good
Exactly,
enough.
John.
Come on, Harry.
And Slav. And moving on to the last tweet, it is Johnny Walker 69, and he says, Gylfi Sigurdsson for Davis and Vorm remain the worst piece of business we have done in the past decade.
Worst, he does realise we're trying to Soldado for 26 million. We've had some real shockers. I don't know if that's the worst piece. Yeah, look, Sigurdsson, considering the fact he went for 50 million a couple of years later, and all we got in return is Davis and Vorm. In fact, I think we even paid them a bit more on top of that as well. So I think it wasn't, in hindsight, it wasn't the best piece, especially as well because Pochettino said post Sigurdsson's sell that that was one of the biggest regrets he's had is selling Sigurdsson because he really would have liked to have kept him on. And I think Sigurdsson was a good player, and I think he probably could have been kept on, but I think he didn't really fit right in the Pochettino system.
That's what I'm thinking.
And I think the sell at the end of the day, considering you have to consider that Sigurdsson was a £50 million player, so to only get Davis and Vorm for him was a bit bad.
I don't think
it's the worst piece of the decade.
I don't think Sigurdsson was ever warranted 50 million.
He was for Swansea.
I don't really rate Sigurdsson that highly. I mean, he's got a great shot on him. Mm-hmm. Apart from that, what else does he do?
Good set pieces. Apparently, if you take away his set piece goals and assists, then his from open play is very low.
I genuinely don't know what Sigurdsson like. That's it. You can't keep someone in, especially in a Pochettino team, if all he does is has a good shot and takes good set pieces. That's not someone we're looking for. Maybe in a Swansea team you can get away with that, but not at Tottenham. Like I know Davis and Vorm haven't been the best for us. I mean, Davis, you can argue, has been a good signing. You know, left back, filling in for left back for Danny Rose. He's our starting left back. He's played well under Jose Mourinho, so you would say that's a good signing. Michel Vorm, all he's been as backup. So
yeah, but potentially giving away a £50 million player for Davis and Vorm. It's not. I think I would argue it's not the best piece of business. I would argue that, but because I think if anything they probably should have been paying us on top of it. I think we paid them a bit more on top, but. I think at the end of the day, and it's not been the worst piece of business. I think we've done far worse deals in recent windows. Stambouli comes to mind.
Vincent Janssen, Soldado,
Nkudu, Clinton Ng.
You know what I mean?
All these
the list goes on.
So I think those are definitely much worse than that deal. But I think I agree that it wasn't the best piece of business, in my opinion.
I was just never fully convinced by Gylfi Sigurdsson. I mean,
we never paid him in his best position. That's the truth. We always played him on the left-hand side.
Yeah, I mean, and that happens to him at Everton as well.
It's true, but I guess you got to ask why has he never played in his best position? Exactly. Is he good enough to be starter there?
Exactly.
Probably not.
That was my argument. Anyway, that is your second episode of the Twitter Unpopular Opinions. Let me know in the comment section below of your thoughts regarding the Twitter Unpopular Opinions. And as always, come on you Spurs.